Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We had a very short break. So, welcome to the Scholars in Blockchain International Symposium hosted by the British Blockchain Association. My name is Naseem Naqvi. I'm the president and founder of the British Blockchain Association and editor-in-chief of the JBBA. We are very pleased to host this world's first of its kind Professors in Blockchain Symposium, bringing together leading blockchain academics on this platform to share their expert insights and guidance with us. We have been hearing from speakers since this morning, 8 a.m. UK time. So we will be recording this symposium. It will be available on demand afterwards to attendees and panelists. And each speaker has 5 minutes to talk about themselves, their institution, and the blockchain education and research opportunities that are being offered by their university, their department. And finally, any advice, tips, and suggestions they have for blockchain or crypto researchers. So with that, I would like to invite Professor Bill Buchanan to share with us his thoughts. Welcome, Bill. Please go ahead. Thank you. Bill, I think you are muted. Bill, hello. I think you're muted.
Okay, is that better? Great. So my name is Bill Buchanan, and I'm a professor of applied cryptography and lead the Centre of Cybersecurity at Edinburgh Napier University. Overall, I have created and run asecuritysite.com, which has over 2 million unique users and 30 million accesses every year. And if you want to know anything about cryptography, that's the place that you would actually go to. Over the past decade, I've led research which has resulted in 4 highly successful spin-out companies, and we have another 2 crypto spin-out companies actually on the way in the next few months. The impact of our spin-out work in 2 core areas was rated as outstanding within the UK's Research Excellence Framework in 2021. As a group, we have current running projects of around 10 million UK pounds and with 37 PhD students, including 5 industry funding PhD students. For our research direction, we have active research in digital wallets, post-quantum cryptography, zero-knowledge proofs, secure data sharing, homomorphic encryption, trusted medical IoT, and we now have a special focus on privacy-aware trusted AI. Overall, we've got several EU Horizon projects running at the current time. One is the CLASS project, which has created a citizen-focused digital wallet which integrates with EID and EIDAS2, and which also uses IPFS. For those who do not know EID and EIDAS2, it's going to change the world completely, and it will start to break down the barriers that falsely divides countries within the EU. Another one that we have is Trustee, which is building a homomorphic cloud engine for data processing, and that would bring a world of perfect GDPR where data is encrypted in every single state that it exists in. Both these projects were built with digital wallets using Hyperledger Fabric, and the Glass project is one of the approved citizen wallets within the EID infrastructure in the EU. From other projects, we have several Innovate UK projects just now. One includes an enhanced voting system with a company called Democracy Counts, and which is developing a citizen wallet for voting in the UK and obviously worldwide. It's crazy that we live in a world where we're still very much paper-based and still very much paper-based for our identities within the most important thing in our democracies, which is voting. In the past few weeks, we've just been awarded a new EIT Digital grant for a deep skills development, and that's in partnership with Istanbul Blockchain Women. And we'll aim to develop cryptography, DLT, and blockchain skills in advanced areas. And we have a target of 30% female learners for that. A few years ago, we set up the BlockPass ID lab in the university, and it was enabled by significant funding from BlockPass IDN. We have now received a commitment of funding of over £1 million UK to set up a Scottish Centre of Excellence in Digital Trust and DLT, and which has significant funding from our enterprise agency, Scottish Enterprise. This will involve a partnership with FinTech Scotland, the University of Edinburgh, and the University of Glasgow, where there are three core areas of excellence in the labs that we have here, all very technical, research-focused labs. This will be based in our BlockPass ID lab, and it grows by the day. Overall, we aim to increase the number of spin-outs in related areas and develop sandbox areas, because that's one thing we're really missing as an industry. We don't have enough places that people can go to and try out things in a sandboxed environment. And we want to upskill and develop deep skills in cryptography. Our biggest problem just now is recruiting. We could grow as fast as we can find good people. Unfortunately, some things have happened in the UK, which really makes that extremely difficult at the current time. So really, we're looking for as many researchers as we can find with deep cryptography skills. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you. Excellent. Very nice summary. 37 PhD, 5 industry-funded PhD. Very good. Amazing. Okay, so the next speaker we have is Francesco, and then Claudio, and then Roben. It's in that order. Thank you very much. Francesco, yes, there you go. You're next. Thank you. I think you're
Hi,
muted.
Naseem, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah,
Can you
yeah,
hear me? So thank you so much for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Francesco Pierangeli. I'm the co-director of the Massive FinTech program at the University of Birmingham, where I also lead our module on blockchain and financial applications. I'm currently serving as a deputy director of the UK Centre for Blockchain Technologies, or UK-CBT for short. So the center is backed by the industry and unites academics from leading UK universities and tries to integrate blockchain, which we're working on integration of blockchain and crypto into socio-economic processes. So our mission is to try and make the UK a global leader in blockchain by connecting universities, industry partners, and government stakeholders. But we go beyond the connections. So what we like to do is really try to drive real collaboration through initiatives that increase engagement and coordination across different sectors. So possibly what we want to do is we would like to champion the adoption of good use cases that may actually benefit business, both business and society. So our work focuses on three core areas. Number one is research, number two is education, number three is community building. So in terms of research, we obviously publish academic research across computer science, economics, finance, and law outlets. We also publish industry papers, so we contribute to industry reports. So for instance, we recently collaborated with Solana on the Future of Work report, which is exploring blockchain impact on the labor market. Moving on to education, so the UK CBT runs a blockchain courses at all education levels, virtually undergrads, postgrad, MBA, and executive educations as well. We also hold seminars and workshops which are open to everybody, which features industry experts on the latest trends in the space. So for instance, we recently hosted a session with Ripple on decentralized finance, and one with Polkadot on the state of digital assets in the UK. Finally, number three is the community building aspect. So the community building aspect, our center organizes hackathons where obviously aspiring entrepreneurs can have a platform to both meet like-minded individuals and create blockchain applications on blockchain. We also contribute to blockchain networks decentralization by operating a number of validators or nodes. Beyond those core activities, we obviously work closely with the regulators and policymakers. So beyond our efforts in research, education, and community building, we also work on with regulators and policymakers. So this year, for instance, we participated in the FCA-led crypto asset policy roundtables in the UK and provided insight to the all-party parliamentary group on blockchain, which is a group of policymakers that are focusing on blockchain and try to, draft laws related to blockchain. So we have established partnerships with leading organizations in the country, such as the Digital Pound Foundation, which focus on stable coins and central bank digital currency adoption. And in our work, we are clearly committed to integrating insights from computer science, finance, economics, law. So we are truly in this interdisciplinary in our approach. And we believe that this is necessary to develop and deploy valuable use cases for blockchain. So of course, we face many challenges. Regulatory uncertainty is one, interoperability issues, security concern, and also after so many years, limited public understanding. However, we try to address these by building robust partnerships between public and private sectors, as well as we try to offer data-driven insights to support policymakers in balancing innovation with risk, because obviously this is very important. That's pretty much everything on my end. So thank you so much for the invitation, the opportunity to share what we're doing and attention. And please feel to the audience, so you are more than welcome to reach out to me if you would like to discuss our work at the UK CBT or our work at the University of Birmingham further. And thank you, Naseem.
Thank you very much, Francisco. Thank you. Yes, I think you made a good point about regulatory uncertainty and also limited public understanding. I think this is a point that was mentioned by previous speakers as well. So I think public education, raising awareness is equally important alongside education of policymakers. So thank you very much for that. Next we have Claudio Tessone. Claudio, can you hear me?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, hello. Thank you very much, and thank you for the invitation. My name is Claudio Tessone. I am professor of blockchain and distributed ledger technologies at the University of Zurich. And since 2020, I am the chairman of the Blockchain Center of the University of Zurich. Doing research and being active in this space in Switzerland is specifically important because in contrast to many other jurisdictions of the world, Switzerland has become one of the most active areas of blockchain development because regulatory uncertainty was taken care of in 2019, 2020, and 2021 with different acts that the federal government instantiated here. We have to remember that Ethereum foundation was first established in Switzerland in 2014, and since then there has been a waterfall of different protocols that established themselves here. And in 2017, we at the University of Zurich realized that several professors from completely different areas of competence were interested in the space. And this is why, in contrast to many other initiatives, we applied and became a competence center of the University of Zurich in 2019. And as that, we have a mandate from the university board to do things that in other places are happening more in a self-organized manner. We are doing them because with the support of the university governing body, that is to coordinate interdisciplinary research, to create a full educational program to our students, and not only, and also to engage with the very large ecosystem that we have here in Switzerland. And one thing that is important is we are the largest university in Switzerland. We have 28,000 students across 7 different faculties. And this is reflected in the structure of the Blockchain Center. We have 68 researchers that are members of the Blockchain Center and 24 faculty members from 4 different faculties, from the Faculty of Business, Economics and Informatics, from the Faculty of Law, Faculty of Sciences, that includes the Math department, and also the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, because we are really happy to have philosophers working on digital democracy. And the important thing is what we want to achieve is to deliver a critical and an unbiased understanding of the space, because we want the space to keep growing in an organic manner. Interdisciplinarity is important for us, and it was already demonstrated by the numbers that I was giving before. And we have been building, and this is one main area of my research, doing large-scale blockchain data analytics that we have complemented in different manners. We have been doing research understanding cryptoeconomic aspects of blockchains, seeing how the rewards and economic inequalities constantly growing in these spaces, and trying to understand why. Education is an important part of our activities, and this is why among the different courses that we offer at all the possible levels, we have a heavily international program that we have been offering since 2020 that is called Deep Dive into Blockchain. That is a 3-week immersive program that is building on this interdisciplinary knowledge that we have here at the university, but also has a lot of interaction with industry. So I'm really happy to invite students from all around the world to engage into this program and to participate of it in 2025. We have regularly 85 students that are able to attend here to Switzerland. We have already more than 400 alumni from 65 different countries. Another thing that is very important for me is, as we also have executive education programs, is that lately, because here in Switzerland, traditional financial institutions have been increasing and widening the financial products built on crypto assets. Even public banks are now offering different kinds of products based on them. We have also included executive education as well in the area of crypto compliance. That is a very interesting aspect of this. In terms of our research, in the last 30 seconds, I would like to mention that we, as I was saying, we do a lot of data analytics, cryptoeconomics. I am very interested in consensus and adversarial attacks based on this, and related to the aspect of crypto compliance. I do a lot of blockchain analysis on blockchain forensics, actually. That's a very interesting field because transparency is something that is important and it's achievable in this kind of system. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Claudio. Excellent. Very nice summary. In 5 minutes, you have covered a lot. And you mentioned about critical and unbiased understanding of blockchain to grow this industry. Excellent point. I love this. And just to, I missed that, you mentioned about 68 researchers in your Center of Blockchain and from 4 different specialties. Is that right?
Correct, yes. We have students, we have professors from philosophy, starting from philosophy all the way through social sciences, law, business economics, and informatics. So we have a very wide range of competencies, and this is something that makes us very happy about our competencies and allows us to have a lot of complementarities with other universities around the world. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Naseem. Thank you.
Okay. So next we have Professor Roben Lunardi from Brazil. Welcome. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's an honor to be part of an inventory featuring such highly respected researchers. Yes, I'm Roben. I'm an associate professor at IFRS. It's the Federal Institute of Rio Grande do Sul. It's a quite new institution. It was founded in December of 2008, so it's like 15 years. It's located in the south of Brazil, and it has a multi-campus institution. So, yes, my campus is in the Porto Alegre, it's the capital city of our state. And probably in the next year, we'll be moving for another campus in the same city. So it's hard to tell much now about students and open positions, things like that. So about the research. Yes, we started researching blockchain in 2016. We initially were starting discussing about using blockchain for IoT. Since the beginning, we started cooperating and have some strong collaboration with Pontifical Catholic University of Rio Grande do Sul. That's another institution from our city. And in 2017, we proposed a solution for IoT, and we started to propose a new data structure for a specific blockchain that we're developing. We call it appendable blockchains. It's a little bit different from the usual traditional ledger from a blockchain, it has like blocks that are not closed, and each device has its own block, and you have the public key inside each block. It's quite a little bit different. And yeah, we evaluated that for some years, and we have a strong collaboration after that with University of New South Wales, with Professor Salil Kanyad in Australia. And yeah, we had many discussion about that, and we started to evolve in this blockchain. And then in 2018, we started a collaboration with, 2019 started a collaboration with University of Newcastle in UK, develop some different kind of conceptual algorithms for this kind of situations that you have like IoT, and you need some constraints about memory, but also have some constraints about a lot of data being produced, and how you can have a higher transaction per second, but at the same time have resilience, and all these kind of discussions. We had some research on that, and we still have some research on this topic. We also have some research about applications, different applications, and we started to do a research about how we can manage IT lifecycle, specifically for machine as a service. It's something that Hewlett-Packard has some interest on it. So we had a master student that applied our appendable blockchains to a patent from Hewlett-Packard to evaluate the availability of this kind of solution. And so we are researching also how to apply this kind of different kind of blockchains that have different kind of structures. Also, in this year, I started a discussion with some researchers in the University of Manchester about adoption of AI in blockchain, particularly in some optimizations for consensus and for some other problem that we are starting to research now, that is how can we reduce the memory consumption, and how can we store in an efficient way the data. Some discussion about it, because some small devices like IoT devices have some limitations, particularly in memory, and how we can do that in a very efficient way, but without losing the resilience and the replicas of the data. Also, now, a few months ago, we started discussing some researchers in Aberdeen University, also in AI, and we submitted a project for a specific funding here in Brazil. And possibly the next year we'll have some advances on this topic. Also for the next year, we submitted recently a project also for percent funding here in Brazil with the University of Pampa. That's another university here from our state, more close to the countryside. And we are now focusing on food traceability using blockchain. But also we have some interesting projects in partnership with industry. We had some projects with this focus in the past. Usually we have some interest in developing proof of concepts, how can use blockchain and develop specific applications, particularly for financial sector and healthcare. We have some nice solutions for the healthcare too. Yes, I think I'm almost in the 5 minutes, so please contact me if you need any further information or possible collaborations. And it's an honor to be here. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Roben. You're excellent. You're doing a lot of things. There was, I suppose, there was a couple of questions. I don't know if Bill is still here. It was discussed this morning that there is a lot of excellent research which is buried in the literature and in the journals, and at the same time we are saying that policymakers need to be educated, regulators need to be educated. There is a lot of resources, funding, money goes into publishing this research and hiring these PhDs. So what steps can we take? And I'm sure you must be taking already in your institutions to kind of make sure that this work, first of all, is not wasted. And then these kind of mentoring and training of postdocs or post PhDs to become useful citizens of society and take the career paths that are productive and work for the society rather than just becoming kind of academics just for the sake of publication. Any quick thoughts? We have Professor Zhang joining as well. In fact, what I will do is we'll have Professor Zhang first, and then this will give you hopefully some time to think also. And then after maybe 5 minutes, is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Professor Zhang, can you hear me?
Yes, sorry,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
joining a
Please
little
go ahead.
late. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
Hello,
we
how
can
are
hear
you?
you. Yes. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So I only have 5 minutes, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, no slides, and just
No,
give
no
a
slides. Just talk about you, introduce yourself, your institution, what you are doing in the blockchain
Okay.
space. Yeah.
That's fine. I can see some familiar faces here as well. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lei Zhang. I'm a professor in trustworthy systems in University of Glasgow. I belong to the James Watt School of Engineering. We have quite a few things happening, and we did a few projects on blockchain in the last few years, starting from 2017, I believe. Some projects and demonstrations were done. In particular, I would like to see we working together with other colleagues and also Professor Bill as well here to build a platform for the privacy preserving contact tracing solution by using the blockchain platform. So what we did was actually quite simple. We replaced the database by a blockchain system. We try to get rid of the control of the government and also the big companies. So in this way, we can mitigate the concern of the public, who we always have a concern about the privacy issues controlled by the government and collecting our information and data by the big companies as well. So we have our demonstrations, and also we have the mobile app. But later our government decided to not actually use the digital contact tracing to actually mitigate the COVID-19 virus spread. But anyway, so the platform is there, so we are able to use it in the future if there's anything happening. I'm sure there will be something in the future, not only pandemic, but also some other events. We could use this information system for privacy preservation. Another project I would like to say is actually funded by EPSRC called Pristine. It's actually built a platform for the IoT devices. The IoT device generates lots of data, including our mobile phone. We are not willing to share the data with anyone else because of the privacy issues, because of lack of any incentive. We are not necessary to share, but even those our privacy leaking already. So what we try to do is to use blockchain as a platform. You can control your data, you can share your data. So this project, by the way, is specifically used for machine learning and AI. So lots of data are valuable for learning. So what we did is to demonstrate that the IoT devices can be safely and privacy preservingly collected for the learning training models. And remember, the IoT devices, they are with low capability, like the power, like the communication and storage as well. So we have to design some lightweight consistent mechanism and blockchain platforms to make sure it can run on IoT devices. Also, we actually I lead a project for education. I built a platform for students. They can share their ideas and also the coursework. Some of the coursework they can discuss with other students without fearing of the plagiarism. So that is something very important because students, from one aspect, we want to actually make them collaborative, but another, we also don't want the plagiarism happening, right? So this platform actually provides this kind of function to make sure that we can know where the idea come from originally. Also, we have a few projects for autonomous systems. We use blockchain for synchronize the data and record data for autonomous systems and autonomous driving. If there's anything wrong, we can always trace back to see what happened. This will involve some insurance company, regulators, the car owner and driver, and so on. So yeah, I think I have said a lot. By the way, we are actually working in the ORAN, Open RAN, which is RAN is radio access network for telecommunications for 6G. We try to actually standardize some protocols for the ORAN system based on blockchain system. So that is happening at the moment. I hope something will be concluded in the later next year. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Professor Zhang. Some interesting points you made about blockchain allowing, in a privacy-preserving way, sharing data among AI and IoT devices, and also blockchain for autonomous systems. Thank you very much for excellent talk. Just before you joined, there was a question. In fact, there were 3 questions, but I suppose it's one question, that how can we ensure that when these graduates, these postdocs, when they come out in the market, in the industry, they are actually applying those knowledge and making it beneficial for the industry, for the policymakers, because there was a discussion this morning that a lot of this research is buried in literature. It is just written, a lot of expense, a lot of resources have been spent on these research and researchers, but it's not of use. So how can we make it useful for society, useful for industry? And are there any mentoring, training programs that are available in your universities? You are from Glasgow, Bill Buchanan from Edinburgh, Claudio from University of Zurich, Roben from Brazil. So all from 5 different universities. Any quick thoughts on how we can make sure that this transition from academia to industry, and they are useful, productive citizens for society and industry? Quick thoughts, Bill?
Yeah, can I outline? So
yeah,
you wouldn't trust an electrician if they didn't know how to wire a plug, if they didn't know where the brown and the blue wire actually went. So I think fundamentally we need to understand what are the core skills in blockchain. And these methods go back to 1970s and 1980s. Basically, we're using old technology. It goes back to public key encryption, it goes back to Merkle trees, and it goes back to elliptic curve cryptography. And really, we make it so complex, but actually it's really simple. And we're shocked sometimes when we interview graduates who cannot tell us how public key encryption works. We can't even get past the first base, that they don't even know how many keys are actually involved in whose keys. And the number of times the graduates have said, well, I'll use your private key to encrypt data. Are you sure that's the case? Oh, yeah. And these are students who have been through cryptography modules. So how can they explain to politicians and even their own family if they can't articulate simply to kids? We go into schools. We'd love to see public key encryption taught in schools because fundamentally it's going to change their world. We're now going to go into a world that's all going to be about public key encryption. In fact, we're going to decimate it with post-quantum cryptography. All our existing cryptography is going to collapse. So in the next decade, we now have to replace all the things that people don't understand with something else that nobody knows about yet. And we're not articulating that quite right. So I think the problem is really that we're very poor articulators. We go to our own conferences and we talk amongst ourselves and we use jargon and so on. And we need to get better at articulating and making it interesting. It is the most interesting topic. Cryptography to me is the most interesting topic. And at school, math teachers struggle to find an application of their maths. You say every single network connection involves a Diffie-Hellman key exchange with a discrete log. You're teaching logarithms. Tell the kids that every single connection they make to the internet is actually secured by discrete logs and also needs these little digital signatures in there. So I don't think we're very good salesmen overall.
We are not very good at articulating concepts. Bill said we use lots of jargons among our communities. How can we make this better? Claudio?
I wanted to say, complement something of what Bill was saying, and I go back to your final question, Naseem, but one thing that we need to understand, I understand that basic education is necessary, and I think that I am going to complement it as well with a different facet as well. But we have to understand that public blockchains work thanks to very interesting combination of cryptographic principles, but they also work thanks to the fact that you have incentives that are placed inside of the system that align the behavior of participants that in principle do not have trust with each other. And I think that human behavior is important, and understanding the underpinnings of this is fundamental, and understanding that, let's say, never anymore forgetting the importance of incentives will allow us to have newer generations of blockchains that are not just an speculative asset because the economic incentives are so wrongly planted there. And this is why I would like to complement this in two senses. I would like to complement it saying that as well, I think that there is a fundamental problem with basic financial economic education in all the ground schools, but also us as a community understanding that you cannot simply understand blockchains by looking at the technical underpinnings, but also understanding that they are a complex socio-technical system. And in complex socio-technical systems, economic functioning and also the behavior of the people that is inside is fundamental to get them working right. And I think that this is, going back to your, with this I conclude, the other thing that I think that is fundamental is remembering that how do we train our own people? I think that making them understand that they need to hear people from other disciplines as well, beyond what they heard before. If they are computer scientists, they need to deal with economists, business developers, finance people, lawyers, and this is what, and understanding, using common languages, understanding that actually the language that everyone uses is different, but allowing them to communicate and to understand is a fundamental thing that we need to work more as with any other interdisciplinary endeavor.
Thank you. Professor Zhang, any comments? Complex socio-technical, complex socio-economic topic, blockchain, non-technical policymakers when we are talking to, how can we kind of communicate it to them and bring our point across?
Yes, I fully agree with Bill and Claudia about this non-technical issues. I think the very important point is from the policymaker and the government. I think their attitude is very critical for the wide deployment of blockchain technology, not only in finance, but also you can see there are lots of potential applications beyond finance. This is something I'm interested actually. I'm not actually working in finance, but for IoT devices, for autonomous systems, and many other things, blockchain can find lots of interesting applications because of the you see the headline newspapers. Lots of people use blockchain for crypto for money laundering and things. So the government attitude is very subtle on this, but they should not actually, because of this, they should not actually stop or block the blockchain application to something beyond finance. So that is something I think we should pay particular attention.
Yes. Roben, any last thoughts, comments?
Yeah, I think that one thing that is very important is trying to get close to the industry and get real problems and try to help them to understand what could be the benefits of using blockchain. We had many discussions with different companies, and some of them know what blockchain is, and some of them doesn't know what. And it's complex because sometimes some solutions are very fitable for using blockchain. It's like if you have many entities and you need to have a transparency in the process, it's verifiable, why not using blockchain, right? And it's what we are trying to do now. It's have some more applied projects and helping the companies understand this. So the idea is get a proof of concept and try to see how we can apply to that. It's like using blockchain for IoT. You have many limitations for using for IoT. You have to do many adaptations. You have to construct different algorithms, do different data structures, rethink what blockchain is to using IoT sometimes. And it have many different academic work, but also you can have many applied work. So getting close with the industry, maybe can have this more real case scenarios and people understand better what blockchain can do and also what it cannot do. And maybe you can have more this communication, better communication with the industry, and our students will become more effectively doing the blockchain research in the industry.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think I agree with all the comments. We had a couple of policy makers who joined us this morning, and quite a few have registered also. Some of them are members of parliament, current members of parliament. So they will be watching these videos afterwards also on demand. And I think this is an area, educating policymakers is a big one. And you mentioned about advancing blockchain, attitude of policymakers is critical. I was making a note of that. I think that's a good point. And there are complex socio-technical issues that we have to address. Not using jargons is an important one. I think when we are talking to them in our conferences, it's all right. But when we are talking to non-technical person, we have to explain it in as simple way as possible. So thank you very much. Thank you to Roben, Claudio, Bill, and Professor Zhang. And next session is 4 o'clock. So we can take about short break, 10-15 minutes, and then we will be back. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.